Hey, high levelers. In this video, what I want to do is I want to break down a new feature that HighLevel released regarding TikTok back in the 2025 summit. That was October 2025. During the summit, they released a new feature that everybody got excited about, me included, but ultimately found out to be disappointing, and I'll get to that. But it's regarding TikTok and how to reply to TikTok comments, TikTok DMs, and this kind of really goes back into how do you handle inside of HighLevel, how do you handle the social media keyword comment type replies that you get from your posts from social media. Now, just to put a basis in case you might not have done this yet, HighLevel currently has features inside of Facebook and Instagram, and the platform supports these, where if somebody comments on a specific post, then HighLevel has automations and workflows that can then respond, detect that comment on a post, and then respond by sending that person a DM directly to help them out with getting some more information. Maybe you're sending them a link to your free offer or training or something like that. But those features have already been built into Facebook and Instagram. Even if you have to sit back and send them a form where you just simply say, hey, please click on the yes button for me to send you this information so that I'm not apparently spamming you by doing DMs with you on Facebook or Instagram. So you might have to go through that extra step, but at least it was possible with Facebook and Instagram to be able to do that inside of HighLevel. Now, I was actually at the summit in 2025, and I was really excited when I heard the demonstration or heard the presentation said, hey, TikTok now has new comment features where you can now capture and detect the comments inside of TikTok. And I'm just like, yes, finally, it's here. You can be able to do that. And it's great because TikTok is a platform that I've been trying to expand my social media on. And that was one of the lacking things that happened. Otherwise, you have to use another third-party tool to do that. So anyway, I want to go over a couple of things and just show you what's possible and what's not possible with HighLevel and TikTok posting, commenting, and then DMs. Because this platform is different than Facebook or Instagram, and it doesn't have the same type of setup as that. So anyway, let me hop in and kind of show you some of the things inside of the automations. Now, I'm going to get started here, but I'm just going to simply let you guys know. Currently, right now, there is no way to do the same type of commenting and replies on those comments that we do on Facebook or Instagram through HighLevel. We cannot do that currently with TikTok. Okay, so there's a breakdown here, and I want to show you where it is because this could, you may possibly be able to overcome that in your setup and your workflows, depending upon how you set up your social media posts. But let me show you a couple of the things. Number one, I was really disappointed. I had several support calls and had to go to the tier 2 or whatever regarding this, and finally come back with just like saying, what the hell? What did you release this feature for if it really doesn't do the same? And I got all upset, and I'm like, okay, fine. I only have to deal with what I can deal with inside of HighLevel, but let me show you what I'm talking about here. So let's go ahead and look at creating a workflow. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you both the features that TikTok has. Now, inside of HighLevel's automation, you can detect inside of TikTok, because first of all, whenever you connect or integrate your TikTok account with HighLevel, now it can be able to detect and connect up to that account. But it can also detect comments, and it can also detect DMs from there. However, inside of TikTok, because of the way the platform is, I'm not exactly sure why. They didn't really explain it to me, meaning HighLevel didn't explain it to me. But if somebody comments on a post, HighLevel can detect that, but you can only reply back on a post, reply back on a comment. Somebody comments, like you just said, hey, if you're looking to get my free website template, just comment website below. If somebody comments website on TikTok, HighLevel can detect that, and it could reply back to that person, but it has to reply back directly using a TikTok comment, meaning that the post is listed along with all the other replies that a particular person has. Now, this may defeat the purpose, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, why does this defeat the purpose, Ray? Because in Facebook and Instagram, once you say, hey, comment the word website, once you comment that, then you could go offline. You don't have to necessarily stay within the same comments of the post. You can now go offline and communicate with that person directly using Facebook Messenger or Instagram DM. You can communicate with them directly that way. TikTok doesn't allow you to do that because obviously, just think about it. Think about if somebody commented website, the first person does, and then you say, great, thank you so much for your reply. Here's a link to the free training. And if somebody else sees that, they're not going to reply website. So you're not going to be able to sit back and gather any information from them at all. They're going to see website. Oh, here's a link to the free training. Maybe that happens a dozen times where somebody comments, hey, website, great. Here's the link to the website template. Click here. But do you see what I mean? Now everything is public. inside of this. This is how TikTok is, at least currently with HighLevel. So when somebody replies with a comment, you're able to see that, but you have to reply using a comment. Likewise, whenever somebody sends you a direct message, you can now reply directly with them with a direct message. But the problem is inside of HighLevel, these are two separate triggers, and you have to know what these triggers are in order to make sure that you can accommodate based upon how you want to build your social media strategy. So let's take a look at that and let me show you what I mean. So right now we're going to go through, I'm going to start with this one. If you just simply search TikTok, you're going to get the TikTok form submitted, which has to deal with if you're dealing with forms and advertising on TikTok, which I'm not dealing with on this video here. I'm simply dealing with posting and then DMs and then comments regarding that. So that's the limit of this video here. But I'm going to do TikTok comment on a video. This was the new feature in October 2025 that was released at the summit saying, yes, we finally got this feature available. I was excited, but I thought it would be very similar to Facebook or Instagram where we can keep things private. But unfortunately, again, you're going to see we can't. So here, if I'm going to click on add filters, which you need to do, you're going to click on this and do account. So you need to have your account connected. Mine already is. I just call mine Ray HighLevel. Inside of here, we're going to do, this is where we do the keyword matching phrase. So this is where in this exact match here, we're going to do, I'm just going to type in website and I'm just going to keep it all lowercase. You might want to do like website, capital website, things like that in case sensitivity and things like that. But if somebody's on TikTok and they see my video and they comment website, then this trigger should actually fire. So this is one of the benefits of the new comment feature, which is great. Now, that's the trigger that you need if you're going to be dealing with comments and communicating directly back to them at a comment level. You can do that, but just keep in mind the way your comment thread on your videos are going to look. Okay, it's going to be looking like, hey, website, great, here's a link to the training. And that's where every one of them are going to be. So pretty soon, people, if they do watch your video, if it goes viral and things like that, they're not going to comment AI on it because they're going to see all the other posts where it's the same reply that you get back about the free training. And all they're going to do is click on the link for the free training and they're not going to comment website, which means you're not going to be able to have the workflow trigger, which means you're probably not going to be able to get their name, their email address or anything like that, potentially to be able to email them later on. So that's one of the downsides of using the comments right now. Now, again, with TikTok, this is something I found out from the second level support. There's no crossing, meaning you can't have the TikTok comment and then switch like you do in Facebook to switch to a DM. This platform is something very specific, meaning if you do comments, you can only communicate on comments. If you get a direct message, you communicate back on a direct message. So what does this mean? This means if you want to keep things privately, then inside of your TikTok posts, you can't create a comment word like comment website. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to end up saying something like, send me a message that says website, and then I'll reply back to you. Something like that. But if you actually have them send you a direct message with the keyword in it, then you can sit back and go do all the things that you similar features of Facebook and Instagram. But again, that's a little bit different than most people are used to doing inside of the social media posts because most people are just used to leaving a comment and not necessarily going through and sending you a direct message, which is a little bit more work. So now, if you do want to do a direct message, one of the things here is you search for TikTok. Notice there is no TikTok direct message. There's not, at least not at the trigger level. There's something like that at the action level of the workflow, just not at the trigger level. Why is that? Because HighLevel has chosen to integrate their direct messaging with the customer replied trigger. So here you're going to have to sit back and search for customer replied. And this is very powerful, by the way, guys. If you have one trigger that you actually know very well in any of the workflows, I'm going to have to say customer replied is the best trigger to know. And I'm going to explain why. Because the customer replied doesn't necessarily mean, let me rephrase that. With customer replied, you can access any channel that HighLevel has. SMS, any of those other channels, and we're going to take a look at it here, but just, this is the power of the customer reply trigger. So we're going to put a filter in here, and I just want to show you, here's some of the power. These are all the filters that you have. It has custom phrase, tagged, has certain tags, replied to workflow, meaning if they're actually in a workflow and they reply to that workflow. But this reply channel is where I find the most power being presented in the workflow. And that is because if you select this, you can do the all-in-one chat, call, chat widget, email, Facebook Messenger, Google. All of these channels that you see here are available. So if anyone communicates with you on these channels, this trigger will fire, which I think is really valuable because you can use this in lots of different places. For right now, in the context of this video, I'm just going to use TikTok. Okay. So that's the one that we're going to be using. And this is just simply if they reply to you, if they send you a direct message using TikTok, and you can simply come in here and do filter. And then where it says exact match, this is where you can do website again. So this is where you can simply be very specific. You're not just intercepting everything that comes a direct message from TikTok. So if you get a bunch of spam and people sending you like, hey, join my group or do all this other stuff, or hey, I'm sending you a hand, I'm waving at you. None of that stuff gets triggered in your automations unless it's coming from TikTok and it has the word website in it. Okay. So this right here is just a way that you just simply specify that and then just say save trigger. Now, these are the two triggers that you actually have that can perform all of your functions inside of HighLevel regarding TikTok. So again, you need to sit back and make sure that whenever you do your social media campaigns in TikTok, that you adjust this according, if you're going to be using HighLevel, adjust this according to the different triggers that can happen. Now, typically you can do, I recommend probably just keeping these two triggers in here and then using an if statement. So if you're going to use the if statement, then just go ahead and click on just your if statement, bring it in, and let's do different branches here. So this branch, let's just do, we'll call it comment branch. And then we'll come down here and select this and we'll do workflow trigger is, and then we'll select that particular trigger for comments. So anything that comes in with that trigger will automatically flow down that branch. And then we'll do another branch for, let's just call it DM for people that send a DM. So here we're going to do workflow trigger is, and then we're going to do the customer reply trigger. So here's where we got, and then this brings up this nice little branch. Starts getting a little bit complicated, but not really that much, not to beyond what you can handle. Now, here's the problem. Please don't make this mistake. This took me hours of time to figure out when I was trying to practice and do this in real time, because unfortunately you can't really practice this in real time because unfortunately I think with HighLevel, for some reason, it won't detect if the owner of the post comments to try to trigger the workflow. It has to be somebody else. So if you want to practice with this, you almost have to make a post. They have to go through and comment or send you a DM, and then it goes through the workflow for you to test this out. So you really you have to go live to test it before you can fine tune it, unfortunately. But here's the problem that I saw, and I don't get why HighLevel does this. It's bugging, it bugs me, but let's deal with the comment. Actually, let's deal with the DM first. Let's DM. So if we come here and we do a TikTok, now we see we have a TikTok interactive messenger. Okay. So this is the DM, like the Facebook Messenger. This is where you can sit back and have, if it comes across with this, you could reply back with your message about, here's my free training. Thanks so much for replying, blah, blah, blah. Or if you want to sit back and say, hey, what's your best email address I can get to make sure I can email you some additional information? You could do all that stuff here and collect that information as well. I'm just going to simply reply back with direct interactive messenger. Here's the problem with the new comment feature. There is a completely different action that you need to select that is not intuitive at all regarding how you need to respond to this. And let me show you what it is. So if you click on this and you type in the word respond, I've got my caps on here. So you see maybe it's the wrong word. I'm just going to do comment, reply, not respond, reply. So now there's this new action item called reply and comment that if you select this, and here's the thing that really bugs me, because I tried doing this stuff, and this is what I went to the second level tier support about. And it even says right here, this action is available only with Facebook and Instagram comment triggers. Use this action, but this is exactly how the documentation, this is exactly how HighLevel support will tell you to do things here, but this is what you need to do. So if you've ever seen, this is where you can simply have a reply back to a comment if that trigger flows through. Keep in mind, the trigger for this is if they've replied with a certain keyword. So the keyword has to be present. Then you can say something like free training link here. You can have another one, training link here, or whatever. You can have whatever type of replies that you want, but these are the replies that are going to automatically go back and get round robin used with comments. But this is, again, this drove me nuts, absolutely drove me nuts until at the time when I was doing this actual help desk article was unpublished. And I think it's actually published, even though it still is in beta. But this is what you have to do in order to reply back in the comments. If you want to reply back, you have to use the reply in comments, which boom, it just makes no sense whatsoever because this doesn't even say it's regarding TikTok, but yet this is where you have to go to submit it. And again, if you want to, you can like the comments here that you get. So that adds another bit of connection with just engagement. But this is what you do. And you simply click on this. Now you can't do anything with communicating with them like you can with the interactive messenger. With the interactive messenger, it's like Facebook Messenger. You could say, hey, thanks so much for replying. Can I get your email address so I can email you the information directly? And that right there is how you can actually use the interactive messenger, very similar to how you would use Facebook or Instagram. to actually get the email address of the person and then be able to put that person as a full contact in your CRM and then put that particular person on a nurture campaign if they don't do what you want and so forth. But at least you still got the information, unlike the comment, where the comment, you only get the face information off of the TikTok account, which may not be very relevant to the person. And you can't even send them an interactive messenger. Even if they reply to a comment, they have to send you a message first before you could reply back, according to HighLevel. So anyway, I hope you learned something. If you did, smash the like button. That really helps me out. Leave me a comment. And just thanks so much for being here, and hope you picked up something. And I really hope that HighLevel gets this fixed that allows similar features to Facebook and Instagram, but I know that really depends upon the TikTok platform. So thanks for hanging in there with me, and have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.